Today's story begins in the Mother era of Korea, where we see its king fleeing. His army has been destroyed by the enemy. Consequently, he is now fleeing by sea with all his treasure. But where is he fleeing? We're not told, nor is it revealed whether he reached his destination with the treasure. But don't worry. You'll find the answer at the end of the story. For now, let's return to the present day, where we see a gang of thieves who as punishment have been abandoned in the middle of the ocean to die of hunger and thirst. Their leader Munshi tells his men that their time is near, as they have gone days without food and survival is impossible. But luckily, a pirate ship captained by a young woman takes pity on them and invites them aboard. She offers them food. Days, months and years passed like this. But now, eating the same meal every day, one of the thieves grew nervous and asked another, "Are you pirates or fools? Aren't you fed up with eating the same food?" The pirate replied, "We actually only plunder Japanese ships." The thief replied, "That's your biggest mistake. You'll just be lost in the sea forever, never achieving anything." After saying this, he threw the food onto the deck. Yang saw it and angrily asked, "Who threw it?" The thief puffed out his chest and said, "I did." Just then Mush intervened and calmed the situation down, knowing full well that the ship belonged to her. She was its captain. Therefore they had to obey her, or she would have her men kill them. Just then they spotted a Japanese ship approaching in the distance. They were overjoyed, knowing they would now have the chance to plunder it. Everyone advocates for their own plunder, claiming to be the one who will plunder this or that. But only Munshi says he will go alone to the Japanese ship and kill everyone because he is a master swordsman. Hearing this, Yang starts laughing. But she gives him a chance, saying, "Okay, you go first." As the ship approaches, he jumps onto it. Then he begins his feat, demonstrating his true swordsmanship. Meanwhile, Yang and the rest of his men also jump onto the ship and kill everyone. But when they search it, they find not a single penny on board, leaving everyone disappointed, as it had been a long time since they had seen such a ship approaching. Now they wonder when they will get this opportunity again. But they don't even have any food. That's why Yang angrily asks the men what were they doing at sea without food and water. Then one of the children stands up and explains that they were actually searching for a treasure that was lost in this very ocean many years ago. The mention was of the treasure of the same Korean king which was loaded on that ship. The child explains that they have lost their way and that's why they're lost, but don't kill us. Then Yang makes a deal. They must give her the map to the treasure in exchange for their lives. They agree because nothing is more precious than life. Coming down, Yang sits and talks with some people, and then the map is revealed. Seeing it, everyone feels a longing. If they could find it. Yara feels a similar desire. If they could find the treasure those Japanese had told her about, it would change her destiny. So she tells everyone, "Now we have to find it, and that's our goal." The search begins. The first step was an island where they would find the path ahead, and they would find it near a cave on the island's highest peak. They all reached the island, where Munshi spotted a bull. He declared that he was fed up with eating seafood for years. That's why he was going to find food for himself. Although the others tried to stop him, saying, "Don't do this," he was proud of himself. He could handle everything alone. What was to happen? That pride led him to his doom. There wasn't just one bull but an entire herd, and he was trapped alone. It was a good thing he would have avoided falling, but here his luck was even better. As soon as he fell, he hung onto a tree, the tip of which had an elephant's tusk embedded in it. Yes, this is the key to their next destination, because it contains a map written on it, which Yang is overjoyed to see, as it will take them one step closer to their destination. But here Munshi feels that his people no longer listen to him, due to which he fights with Yang and says that he is the captain now, but no one listens to him because everyone likes Yang more as a captain. He never made decisions in anger, a mark of a leader. Munshi, angered by this, decides to stay. The others leave, returning to the ship. But when it's time to leave, Yang stays behind for a while, waiting for him. Who knows, he might change his mind, but he's a stubborn man and he stays on the island. Meanwhile, a man comes to him and tells him that the ivory has been stolen. Upon hearing this, he suspects Yang, as he's the only one currently under suspicion. So he immediately heads to the island and begins searching for him. After a while, Yang finds him in a wooden hut. He beats him up and asks why he stole the elephant's ivory. He flatly denies it. He doesn't have it, Mikey has it. He explains how. In fact, some time later he returns to the ship and Mikey offers him false reassurance. They will get the treasure before you two and head for the city. But when you both brought it to the island, he ran away with the tooth after I fell asleep. Hearing this, Yara becomes very angry, as he had always suspected Munshi. But he never imagined that his own men would do this. Meanwhile, we see a general who mentions the treasure to the king and reveals that he knows the way to it and will soon obtain it. Meanwhile, Mikey arrives at the royal family of Ko, telling them everything. His family's ancestors have hidden a huge treasure somewhere in the ocean. But none of the royal family members believe it. Because now he has nothing, no army, no money. So if anything happens, they will never be able to reach it. Just then Yerang and Munshi arrive and forcibly take the treasure from Mikey. There was no army or anything else in that court. They had no need to fear. That's why they easily brought it back to their ship, bringing the royal family along with them. But upon returning, an argument breaks out between the scribe and Yerang. He snatches the ivory from him and talks about throwing it into the sea, but in the end he hands it over. During this we also learn that he has begun to like her. But in his quest to show himself as the greatest, he sometimes acts in a way that makes everyone think he is the greatest and their leader. Well, he gets punished for it. Meanwhile, we see the same general on the other side having the same conversation. Hearing this, he angrily asks the king, "How can you say with such confidence that you will obtain the treasure?" The general explains that the king to whom the treasure belonged was actually a descendant of the Korean Empire. But he always feared that someone might take this family treasure from him. Then one day his fears came true when his kingdom was attacked. He loaded all the treasure onto a ship and told only his wife where he was going. That's why a few years later I captured his wife, and after torturing her she finally revealed the location of the treasure to me. After hearing all this, the king sets off with his army, convinced that he believed the general's words. Meanwhile, the people on the ship tie a cloth to the elephant's tusk and try to decipher the writing on it. But they can't understand anything. The scribe takes the cloth from them, knowing the language. He explains that the path to the treasure lies through a river that flows beneath the sea, and this place is located where the sea flows beneath a rock. But remember, leave your greed and deceit behind, because this treasure is only available to those who have the desire to help others. It was hidden for him. Hearing this, the scribe bursts into laughter, as there's no greater thief in the world. So will he be able to get hold of that gold? Yerang reveals that she's seen a place 40 miles south of here. So they begin their journey toward it. Meanwhile, the general and the others continue their planned path. 2 days later they arrive at a place where a huge rock is hidden, beneath which numerous tornadoes are blowing. Seeing this, Yerang declares, "I'm sure we'll find something underneath." So one by one they begin to dive down. They spot a large number of flaming fish moving towards a light. Following it, they emerge from a hole. It was actually a cave where they were sure there was something. But after a long search they find nothing, leaving everyone distraught. Then Munshi's hair moves in the wind and he realizes that there is something beyond that cave. But he doesn't tell anyone about it. Instead he starts mocking Yerang, saying, "What kind of leader is he? He put his own lives at risk." He insults him, which Yerang's companions can't tolerate. So he attacks him. But Munshi picks him up and throws him in the direction where the wind was coming from. The impact opens a passage, and inside it lies a long cave weakened by centuries of age. Therefore they must be cautious, as it could collapse at any moment. Moving further away they find some chests. Upon opening them, everyone's faces turn red with joy as they find a treasure chest filled with silver. But why only silver? Where is the gold? This was the question on Munshi's mind, even though he knew there was no gold there, only silver. Suddenly someone attacks them, causing several powerful explosions, injuring some of their companions. This was the work of the general and his army, who have arrived and now want to seize the ivory, but Yerang and the others prevent them from doing so. Meanwhile, when the general first sees the Munshi, he recognizes him at first sight, as they share a long history. They were in the same army, and it's true Munshi learned swordsmanship there, but his fighting style was different. He doesn't kill people without reason. However, the general, on the other hand, can kill anyone to show off his strength. That's why Munshi left the army. Now in the present they are still fighting. The others returned to their ship, but they hadn't left but were waiting for Munshi. Meanwhile, we see Munshi finally losing to the general, tying himself to the same silver caskets and jumping into the water. The general also jumped in after him, but he couldn't breathe. So the same scribe is now sinking deeper into the water. Then just in time, this Rang saves his life and cuts the rope that bound him. In the cave, the general also finds the flag bearing the map to the real treasure. Although they had also seen the flag, they failed to retrieve it. Then Yerang says, "We should go back down." But some suggest that Mikey might have the flag, so they tie him up. They force him to come, but he says he doesn't have such a flag. But yes, he knows the place mentioned in the map. "I went there as a child." Actually, friends, Mikey has been with pirates since childhood. He's had the chance to go there before. He said there's a lot of lightning there. But Yerang says, we'll go there. We'll definitely go there. But Mikey has one condition: he must be made the captain of the ship. After much deliberation, she agreed and he was made captain. She even had food prepared for everyone, and the food was nothing less than dung. But Munshi saw flowers in the dung, blinded by his love. After a long journey, they finally arrived at the place where Mikey had described the lightning strikes, and it was indeed so. The place was nothing less than a nightmare. The constant lightning strikes caused significant damage to their ship. Meanwhile, the general along with his men continued onward, but he had tied kites to his ship, preventing the lightning from striking him. Finally, they arrived at the island on the seashore, where Munshi taunted Mikey, asking, "What are we supposed to do now, Captain?" But he was at a loss. Meanwhile, he sees Yerang, who suspects that a hill in the distance is constantly being struck by lightning, and Munshi decides to go up there alone. Meanwhile, everyone is fed up with the unnecessary orders from his mother. But in the end, he spots something useful. He sees Pengun walking away with a gold biscuit pressed to her mouth. He showed this to the others, astonishing them. Meanwhile, Munshi, who had reached the top, saw several spears buried there, and lightning was striking them repeatedly. Just then the general and his men arrived, so he hid. But when the general looked at the spears, he saw the flag of the Korean Empire on them and realized that the object they were looking for lay beneath them. But before he could retrieve the spears, a powerful lightning bolt struck the area, killing several people. Nevertheless, he retrieved the spears. He then began digging beneath them and found a coffin that, when opened, revealed only a dragon's face. A soldier then noticed Munshi, who began shooting arrows at him, dodged a bullet to protect him. Meanwhile, Mikey fell into the water trying to save the penguin. In the chaos, Mikey's mask fell into the water where Mikey was already present. He also grabbed the mask. But then he spotted a cave in front of him that looked exactly like the mask, which clearly implied that it held the priceless treasure they had been searching for all this time. The story wasn't over yet, friends. The real fun began now, as Mikey finally found the ship filled with gold. It was the same ship the Korean king had hidden there. But their battle up there wasn't over yet. After a long struggle, Munshi cleverly electrocuted the general, winning the battle. Everyone descended, celebrating their victory and the treasure. They became millionaires. They now possessed so much gold that they could comfortably eat for several meals. Meanwhile, Munshi and Yerang kissed, revealing to everyone present that they were in love. And that's how the story ends. Please let us know how you liked it by commenting. See you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.